Hello and welcome everybody, Masud's here. Hope you had a great day. For today's episode, I am going to introduce you with an important function in JavaScript, which is reduce function. It's very good for working on arrays and especially for doing a process on array items and getting a single value from that array. Okay, to describe usage of reduce function, first of all, I'm going to write my code in another way, and then we can compare them together. Okay, imagine that I have an array named values, and inside it I have several numbers, and I'm going to calculate some of them. So I will have another variable named sum. The first value is 0, and then I'm going to have something like a forEach or a for. Doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use forEach for it, and within it I'm going to use another function value, and inside this function I'm going to add sum to the current value, and then here I want to check the value of sum. Let's change it to a smaller value. Yeah, you can see that we wrote a loop that executes for each member of this array and adding them together. It's one way, it's more traditional, and with ES6 you can use reduce function to do it easier than this way. Okay, let's do it. We easily can write const sum2 equals values reduce, and within this function I should specify first a callback function and then an initial value. My callback function is going to have two parameters. One is accumulator, I'm going to name it ACC, and the other one is value. And here I should have my logic inside this function, and again the second parameter is related to initial value. Okay, here I'm going to just return ACC plus value. First, let's check it to make sure it works well. Yeah, as you can see, we have 32 here and here, so the functionality is same, but this way is more elegant and brilliant way to calculating our arrays. And if I want to explain this function to you, this function takes two parameters. As I said, the first one is a callback function and the other one is initial value for accumulator. We have two parameters inside our first function. The first one is accumulator, and it's always it has the value of last item process results, and the other one is the current value of function. For example, this function will run on each of these items, and on the first run the value will be 1 and the ACC will be the initial value, which is 0, and then it will go for the next item. And because we return ACC plus value here, since our value is 1 and our initial value is 0, so we returned 1 as our first accumulator. So when I want to execute the second item, accumulator value is 1, and again it will calculate 6 for value, and it will plus it to add it to 1, and again the accumulator will be 7, and again do it for other items in my array. It's so useful for any kind of calculation on our array items. For example, if you want to, for example, check the quantity of products that you have in your store, you can easily use this function and just adding each item quantity plus previous quantity, and it's going to be so useful. You can do both ways, but it's a newer way and an elegant way to calculate on arrays. Okay guys, see you on next videos.